Hello everyone, this is General Hand Grenade. Welcome to my war room in Prince George, British Columbia. I just want to start off by saying happy Thanksgiving to all my friends south of the border in the United States. This is Thanksgiving Day down there. Ours was last month in October, so I got full of turkey last month. And I still have to work today, so it's not a holiday up here in Canada today or tomorrow. While you're fighting with people in the stores down there tomorrow, I'm going to be working a shift and a half because one of my coworkers has to leave early tomorrow. So I'm going to be working my butt off. No Thanksgiving for me this weekend. But I really hope that you enjoy yourself and that you get to see your families and that you stuff yourself with more turkey than a person should be eating. And some pie too, if you can get some. I loves my pie. Anyway, so today's video, it's about historical board gaming. Last video that Young Grasshopper did was about historical board gaming and about the relationship between his channel and the company. And I thought that was kind of funny because that was going to be my next video too. Because about 6 weeks ago, Doug from Historical Board Gaming contacted me, and he said he contacted some other members of the community as well. And he wanted to know what he could do for the Axis and Allies community. Because Doug, he's busy with his global war game, Global War 1936 to 1945 and Global War 1939, as well as America. And so, and that he should be too. I mean, if you're trying to develop a game, then you should be involved in those. Anyway, he doesn't get to play much Axis and Allies anymore. Obviously, he got started into Global War by playing Axis and Allies years ago. But because he doesn't play it anymore, he doesn't really he doesn't really know what we need for the game or what he can do for the game. And so he's reaching out to the community to ask how he can support our community better. And I think that was really nice and really cool of him, that he would take the time to do that. And he wasn't being disingenuous either, as I found out. He asked what my thoughts were, what I thought he could do, and I said, "Let me just get back to you. Let me think about it because it kind of caught me off guard." And so I thought about it a bit, and I made a list, and I got back to him, and he was going to take care of just about everything on that list, or had already. What you're looking at here is, I wanted to show you is a coaster here. So one of the things that I've been trying to do, I've been going all around town, looking for somebody that would help, that would make up these coasters for me, because Doug didn't have the coasters for all the different nations, and I like to use them as you see here. I like to use them as my bank. I put my money on them, and in my mobilization zone. So here's the British one, but you know, there was no Anzac one, there was no China one. You don't really need a France one, but there was no France one. And also, like, I had to use two coasters that were exactly the same, for one for UK Europe and one for UK Pacific. So I told him that's the one thing I really, really want. And he said, "Hey, I've already ordered those." And so I ordered them from him as well. I would have done this video a couple of weeks ago when these products came out, but I was waiting for the coasters to come in, and I missed it by one day. I placed my order, and then the next day I seen a picture on Facebook where they were showing the coasters, and I was like all excited thinking I was going to get them. But anyway, so I'm going to make another order today, so I get the Anzac coaster and the Union Jack coaster and the France and the China coasters. So I'm looking forward to that. So that was one thing that I suggested that we get, because, like I said, this is what I like to do. I like to have these, and I know some people like to play the game where they hide their money, and well, you should know how much money I have. You've seen how much I took like 3 turns ago. But to me, there's just way too much ability to abuse that. Because what's to say that you can't take an extra dollar here, an extra dollar there? If you keep your money on the table, out in front of you like this, then everybody knows that you're not cheating. And that's the way to do it. That's the way everybody should do it. I don't care about this, squirreling away $5 here, $5 there, and then all of a sudden pulling out $120 for Anzac. You know, like I'm going to question that every single time. You just shouldn't do that. That's not the right way to play. So that's what these coasters are great for. And also, he's got a Canada coaster coming out. You know, the Canada roundel. Where is it? Oh, there's one up there. So you see the Canada roundel up there on British Columbia. He's coming out with coasters that look like that too. And because that's not a playable nation in Global 40, guess what I'm going to be putting my drinks on? Finally, I'm going to use the coaster to put a drink on. So anyway, moving on. So another thing that I said to him was, one of the things that it took me forever. Here, let me just move this over. Let's look at these roundels down here. It took me forever to buy all the roundels that I needed because I'd buy, they come in groups of 10. So I buy 10 of these and okay, I need more. So I buy 10 more and 10 more, you know, and 10 Italian ones, and then found out that's not enough. You know, it's enough for the first couple of games I play, and then all of a sudden Italian does really well, so I have to buy another one, and so on and so forth. Like it just, and it takes forever, and it costs a lot of money because when you get the amount of roundels that you need to play the game of Global 40, it adds up for sure. But you can see the difference here. Like you look at here, these are the paper ones that come out of box, and you know, like they're not centered properly, most of them, and they're hard to pick up. Like I've told you before about my finger. I can't pick them up with that finger. This one, no problem, no problem at all. So and you just look at them, like they're just more vibrant. It probably doesn't even come through as well on the camera, but it just makes your board come alive, and it gives more of a sense of 3D because here, let's just look at the thickness of them. See, look at that. I'm having trouble picking that one up. So let's just take a look here. See if I can get them side by side. There we go. See, look at the thickness of them there. So this it actually makes it seem like your board is more 3D. I mean, the game is 3D anyway because we play with 3D pieces, but it seems even more 3D than that because of the way that it brings the board up to you. But they're one of my favorite customizations. Even like the first time I got one of these, I think because they were fairly expensive, I think I only bought one to begin with, one pack, just to see what they were about, and I loved them. As soon as I took them out and put them on my board, I just thought, yeah, these things are great, and I started buying them. But it took me forever, like I said. But anyway, because of that, now I know exactly how many you need. So what I said to Doug was, like, can't you put these in a package that we would need for Global 40? I mean, you could use these for your anniversary game or for any of your Access and Allies games as well. But you know, make the package for a Global 40 because that's the biggest game. So if you've got enough, like I could use these to play my anniversary game, I know I've got more than enough because I've got enough to play Global 40, right? So anyway, I know how many you need to play this game, and you know that's assuming that say Anzac doesn't take over the entire continent of Europe. You know, that's not likely to happen. So other than that, I made it so the count that I gave Doug is such that you would only need to buy this one set, and that's all. And I noticed on the website there that they're showing this roundel, this Italian roundel, and some people like to use the fascist roundel like I do, and some people like to use a different Germany roundel than I do. So I'm not sure if you can switch them or not. You could certainly contact Historical Board Gaming and ask if you could get the Italian roundel instead of this one, and the German one as well. I think there's an alternate American one, the American Army roundel too. But anyway, you could contact them and ask them if they would switch. So anyway, what you get in this set, you get 30 German roundels, 35 Japanese roundels, 15 Italian roundels, 20 UK Europe, 10 UK Pacific, 15 American, 15 Russian, 10 Anzac, 5 France, and 5 China. Like you might never even need one France roundel, right? I guess you might need it for the the income tracker, but even then you only need it for one round. So unless France comes in late in the game, I seriously doubt they're going to take over more than five. And that's the thing. Like you still had to buy them in blocks of 10, right, just to have a France roundel. So why not take five off that and put the five onto there, rather than having to buy 40 of these and 10 of these. Just buy five of these and 35 of these, and that's what we're doing here. And the same here. Like take off five of the Chinese, because you're probably not going to need more than five. There might be the odd game where you actually take over six. Let me just count up there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's only 6 territories there that you could possibly take anyway. So five of these is going to do you. And then and so you divvy them up that way. Now you're going to get a savings here. These are going to cost $80. Normally, what do you got here? There's 160 roundels. Normally that would cost you, I think I think you're saving $40 anyway. I'm not sure, but you're saving money by being able to buy them this way, and you're getting the right amount of roundels. You're not having to buy 40 instead of 35 or 10 instead of 5. And the other thing is, you look at here. This is what the underside of the roundel looks like, right? So what I've done is I went to Staples and I bought these sticker things here, and you can see that I've used them there, that where the white is there. And so you just peel them off. Hang on a second there we go. You just peel them off and then you stick them on like that, because like some people, they like to use them as markers as well, right? So they're going to mark out all their attacks, like I'm going to attack that and I'm going to attack this, you know what I mean? And then when they're done, they just flip them over, right? And so that's kind of cool too, because they are just a wood color on the back. But you can make them bright if you want, just by putting stickers on the back of them. But this, like I got 400 and something of these stickers for she's like $5 or something like that. That's enough to do a bunch of these sets, right? Like 4 of them, at least 3 anyway. Anyway, so that's the roundels, and that's great. You can buy all the roundels at once, and that's a lot of money, right? $80 American, yeah, especially if you're a Canadian, because that's got to be around $100. But remember, it's Christmas coming up, and this weekend I'm doing a Christmas video. It'll be out Saturday or Sunday, and it's Christmas gifts, because my family asked me, what can I get you for Christmas? They know I love this game, but they don't know what I have or what I don't have or what I need. And I would imagine that a lot of your families are the same way. Anybody that asks you, what can they get you for Christmas? And they end up getting you a sweater or a tie or a soap on a rope or some goofy thing that you don't really need or want. Anyway, so I'm going to put out a video with all of the things on there that a lot of the customizations that I have, and there's going to be links in there of where to get them. The prices are going to be on there, so that you can send anybody that asks you what they can get you for Christmas. You can send them there and say, I'm going to number them as well. So you say, I like number 4, number 8, number 7, number 16. And then they can pick one of those. They can go watch that video. They'll know exactly where to go or what and how much money it'll cost, and depending on how much they want to spend on you, then they can get that. And that's a good way to get these roundels. Like, you've probably seen these before and thought, no, that's way too expensive. These things are good enough. And sure, you can play the game with these, but wouldn't it be nice if you got a set of these free for Christmas, right? And so let's move on. Now, the other thing is, I said it would be great, because these things too, you're buying five of these at a time, right? And 5 of these and 5 of these, and these are all great things to have, these markers here. But like I said, wouldn't it be great if you could get a set for Global 40, a set of everything that you needed? And he thought, yeah, that would be great. So he said, how much do you need? And so the amount of naval bases and air bases is assuming that you don't have a map like mine where it's got them printed on there, right? So I figured 25 air bases and 25 naval bases, because that'll give you a few extra if you're going to purchase some of them, right? So you get 25 air bases, 25 naval bases, you get 6 kamikaze tokens instead of using these little pieces of crap here. You get 10 of these convoy tokens. And these convoy tokens are great because let's say you're convoying somebody here. Like here, let's just take a Japanese ship and put it in there. Well, you might forget about that, right? So when you go and you put your Japanese ship in there, or whoever ship, then you put that on there. Now that's going to help everybody on the board see that that there's a convoy there that needs to be rolled for when the time comes. And these damage tokens are great too, because here, let's just grab a capital ship. Where did I do with it? There it is. Like here, you're supposed to tip it over, right, when it gets hit. Well, sometimes they just get knocked over accidentally, and if you got a really big pile of chips, well, is this one damaged, or did I just accidentally bump it over? Plus, it kind of looks silly, right? So what you can do is you got these damage markers there. That's got one hit of damage. One more hit, and it's off the board, right? But that's kind of cool, though, is to have that. When you're in the middle of rolling a battle, then it's okay just to put that outside and keep rolling. And then if it survives the battle, then you put it on the damage token, and that turn ends, right? So these are great to have. And also, like, they were a little bit big before. Here, let me show you the old ones. I had the old ones here. So what Doug did was he asked me about that. He says, do you think they're a little bit big? And I said, yeah, they are a bit big. So there, can you see that? Can you see how much is left on the end there? So he made them just a little bit smaller there. So that's kind of cool too, that he thought of that. Way to go, Doug. Anyway, so this whole set here, about $40, I think. Which is again a savings if you had gone and purchased each of them separately, like 5 at a time, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. If you'd have purchased all this stuff separately, it would have costed you a lot more than what it is with buying a set. So if you get a set of roundels for Christmas and a set of these for Christmas, you're all set. You've got your board all pimped out all at once, just like that. And then the other thing is, I said, you know what, Doug, I've been looking forever for fuel gauge markers. I've looked at Litco, I've looked at every site, I've looked at things that had nothing to do with Axis and Allies, but had numbers on them. Because what I wanted big numbers. I wanted the markers to be round. I wanted them to stand out like some bright color, right? And he said, well, I've got some markers on there. I said, yeah, I know, but they're square and they don't have all the numbers on them. Like they didn't have a 5 and a 6 on them, and you need those for bombers, right? The 6, because if you're at an air base and you go one space, then you've still got six movement points left. So anyway, he made up some drawings and stuff, and then he emailed them to me, and I said, yeah, I like these ones here. I picked these ones here, but they were square. And so I said, can you make them round? So a couple minutes later, they came back and they were round. They were a bright color. And he added this fuel gauge on the side here. Like, I don't know if you can see that very well, but the 0 is, the gauge is down. 1 is at 1, 2 it's at 2. And you get down to 6, it's at full. It's up here. So that's great. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And that's what I told him. I said, that's what I've been looking for a year now. I've been looking everywhere, scouring the internet for something like that. And like I didn't want a piece of cardboard. Like one of the old games, what was it, Revised, I think it was, had cardboard pieces. I don't like playing with cardboard pieces of stuff on my Axis and Allies board. Like you've got all these nice markers over here that you're using, and then you're going to stick a piece of cardboard on there. No, thank you. So these are great, and I'll show you how you can use them. Here, let's just set up a scenario here. Let me just make it so I don't knock my camera over again. Okay, so here's the situation. Japan has taken 5 victory cities, and they only need 1 more. Okay, so what they got to do is they got to take out Hawaii there. And you can see up here, there's no transports in the water, and there's no transports of any kind for any of the allies. So if Japan can get this victory city here, if they can get Honolulu, then they will be able to hold it for a turn, and it's Japan's turn right now. So, but you can see that the Americans have, what do they have? 8 dudes on there and 2 planes. So they're going to need lots, and it's a good thing they have lots. But they don't have any battleships left. Here, I stole this off of there to use over there. They don't have any battleships left because there was a big fight in Midway there. The Americans came down and took out the Japanese, and then the Japanese came down and took them out. The Japanese decided to hang on to their carriers because they knew that they were going to need those planes to assault Hawaii. And there's an invasion force down here as well. So let's move those in there. So the invasion. They're going to move all their dudes and stuff up. These are going to land on Hawaii. They're going to ignore those 2 subs. Okay. So we're going to bring the planes in here. These are great. These are war-torn flight stands, and these are going to be. I'm going to show those in the Christmas video as well, and give your family members a link to those. So these are going to fly in. Now these have to go 1, 2, 3 onto the land, and so they can only go 1 more space. So let's put these ones up here. So they can only go 1 more space. So you take the 1 fuel gauge marker and you put it there. Now you could use two of these. You could put them on there. Here, let's just do that. There we go. So we know that these can only go 1 more space, right? And think of the first German attack when you're fighting, when you're going after the British Navy, and you're flying all those planes over there, and they all come from different places and everything. And how many did this one go? How many did that one go? Or if you're doing a J1 attack or any J attack where you're attacking the Western Allies to begin with all those planes that they have, you know how handy these markers are going to be. Okay, so now these planes here, they only have to go 1, 2. So they get to go 2 more spaces. And the same with the other planes up there. So they get to go 2 more spaces. So let's just bring this 2 down here like this, and we'll group these down here. Now these are all on the island. Okay, so and we're going to take 2 landing shots with these, and we're going to have to move a carrier in there. We can do it later, or we can do it now. Let's just do it now. Okay, we're going to move the carrier in there. Oh, this guy fell off. I was wondering where that was. And these guys are going in, and these guys are going in. Okay, so there you got your attack, but now you know how many spaces. Oh, we've got 1 more here. He goes 1, 2, 3, and then he can go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this guy can go 2. So he can go 3 spaces. So let's just put 3 on there. Oh, love these new markers. Okay, so there's your attack there. Now you know how many spaces, like, because this battle, you know, you do other battles and stuff. And then you think, okay, well, where did these guys come from? And this one is actually pretty simple. But like I said, think of that first attack where you do the Germans, or the one where you do the Japanese, where they're all flying in different directions and everything and coming from different places. How handy that's going to be to use these markers then. Okay. Okay, so then the Japanese player grabs the dice and says, I'm going to win the game now. All I got to do, you know, he doesn't mind losing all his planes as long as he keeps that 1 tank there, and then he wins the game, right? And then he grabs the dice, he's about to start rolling them, and the American player says, hey, wait a minute. What are you doing? You can't roll yet. I'm going to scramble the P-38. I'm going to scramble the Corsair into the C zone, and I'm going to assault your boats here. Oh, no. Well, now the Japanese player is in a bit of a pickle, and he realizes his mistake, and he's pissed off now. Like he's cursing like Ani DeFranco during an encore of Napoleon and Untouchable Face. And that's a lot, believe me. Just ask the people of Buffalo. Anyway, so what's he going to do? And also, they ignored these American submarines here to begin with. But now what happens with the American submarines? Seems to me there's a few options, a couple of options at least, that they can use those American submarines for. And what kind of effect is that going to have on the Japanese turn here? Well, that's the question of the day now, isn't it? Anyway, sorry about that. I got a little sidetracked there. But anyway, you can see there how these markers will be used. And I'm going to have a couple of these sets because they're only, I think, $8 each, or is it $9? But anyway, I'd like to have one on each side of the table, like the Axis have one and the Allies have one. I might even get more because they're not that expensive. But and also I like to have lots of markers, so that's going to be great. I love those. Now also, Doug was kind enough to send a couple of extra sets. So let's just bring those in here. Here we go. Guess what? We're going to have a contest. This is first prize here, and this is second prize, courtesy of Doug. Now I'm going to mail these off anywhere in the world for the winners of the contest. It's going to be a question, and the first place winner is going to get this set of markers. The second place winner is going to get this set of markers. But I can't just let Doug give you prizes and I don't give you any. So I'm going to throw in my old damage markers there for first place. I'm going to throw in 10 of these. 6. And I can do this because I've already had lots of these markers before. Plus I've got this new set, so I've got lots of markers. 10 of those. And let's see. Let's do 10 of these as well. So let's go 10 of these as well. Ten of those. And what else? Well, how about let's go 5 convoy markers too. There is the first prize right there. First prize. Okay, so second prize. We're just going to throw in 5 of these markers. Oh, wrong ones. Five of these markers. So, first prize, second prize. I'll mail those anywhere in the world. Don't worry, it's not going to cost you a dime. All you have to do is answer the question. And don't forget this weekend, like tomorrow's Black Friday, and there's all kinds of shopping going on, and you can save your loved ones a black eye by sending them a link to the video that I post. Like if Grandma asks you, what should I get you for Christmas? Well, you can just send her the link and she can check it out on her iPad. And there will be lots of options in there, and the prices and how she can go about getting them and everything. I will explain more during that video. So watch for that this weekend. Then they don't have to go out and fight with the crowds tomorrow. So the question of the day, how do you win these? First prize, second prize. Well, I've already asked you that. It was the question of the day. I asked it earlier in the video. Happy Thanksgiving, America. Take care, everyone. General Hand Grenade out. Okay, so I forgot. Sorry about that. I just turned my camera off and I forgot. Oh, geez, I forgot how to tell them. Okay, so you got to answer the question of the day. What I want to do is I want to combine my 3 favorite websites for this. So there's Historical Board Gaming. There's YouTube. Specifically General Hand Grenade's YouTube channel, which you're watching right now. And there's also accessandallies.org. So to win this, you have to be a member of accessandallies.org and watch this video and watch something from Historical Board Gaming. So what I'm going to do is, by the time this video is uploaded, I'm going to create a post on accessandallies.org in the marketplace section, and it's going to be called What's New at Historical Board Gaming. And I'm not going to ask the question there. I've already asked the question. For people who want to enter the contest, they're going to have to come and see this video. So there will be a link in the description box below this video. That'll take you to accessandallies.org, and you will go there and you will write in the answer. And the first two people who get the answer will get these prizes. The first one will get this prize. The second one will get this prize. And the only hint I'm going to give you is your answer must be complete. You can't, no partial answers, because when you really start thinking about it, it's a more detailed answer. So your answer must be complete. And you never know, like the first answer might be correct, and then 10 people might get it wrong after that. And I'm not going to post anything in there. I'll answer any questions about these products, but I'm not going to say that you're right or wrong, or who's right or wrong or whatever. I'm just going to wait. And finally, when I get 2 correct answers, it could take a week, it could take an hour, I don't know. When I get 2 correct answers, then I will weigh in and say we've got 2 correct answers. Could be the first 2 are correct. Who knows? But your only hint is your answer must be complete. Anyway, now I'm going. Take care, everyone.